What's up, gamers? Aaron Shack here, and we are live with Shackcast episode 47. I want to thank you all for being a part of this, and if you've enjoyed listening, watching the Shackcast, participating on the YouTube channel, in live streams, or watching videos, YouTube shorts, any of that stuff, appreciate you so much. So today we have a big episode. Today's episode is called I'm Not Quitting, but that's dramatic pause with the triple dots. I will save like the end of this podcast here, and we'll do a bit of a Q&A at the end. So if anyone has any questions, just pop them in chat. Q&A at the end. But I'm going to be really focused on my notes right now of some of the topics I want to get through relating to this. So, why are we saying this? Why are we talking like this? I thought it was important to say it both through the podcast and the YouTube channel, anywhere that anyone consumes my content. I want people to know just a little bit about how things are changing right now. Okay? So, I would call this a little bit of a reboot or kind of a change for the channel, adapting with the times and, making changes for sake of I want to keep doing this, but it is also in some ways no longer sustainable. And you're seeing a lot of YouTubers quit. You're seeing a lot of people step back from stuff. I am considering my options as well. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be seeing or hearing less of me. I actually think I might be able to do more by doing less. And I'll get into what I mean by that. I've been a content creator for about 10 years at this point. This is year 3, I believe, on YouTube. And I did about 7 years on Twitch before that. I think it probably wasn't until, I started in like 2014, but I really feel like it wasn't until 2015 or further that that was when I like downloaded OBS, Open Broadcast Studio, and started making scenes and having the donations on screen, the animations, capture cards streaming to the laptop. Like, it was like, hey, we're going to really take this into the form of a business, or at least we're going to take it very seriously, right? Because I saw a future in this, and I thought, if there's one thing I want to be doing, while I'm being an awesome worship guitarist and music director in the background, I was like, it'd be awesome if I was like also doing what I love, playing video games, sharing my passion of that with people, and in essence making an income from that as well. I know in the past year I launched the website aaronshack.com. I'm really proud of that website. I want to do more with it. It's just really hard to do that when you are live streaming, either in the afternoons or the evenings or all day or whatever the timetable has been. I've been all over the place. I've done morning live streams. I've done afternoon streams. I've done all day streams. I've done streams religiously from like 9 p.m. to 3 in the morning for years. And I wouldn't say it was time wasted. I think it is time well served. I always look back even at my years at Twitch, and I look at that shift when I came to YouTube. I look at that shift of looking at my analytics and realizing, like, okay, it's not that I wasted the past 7 years. I learned a lot of skills in that time. And that set me up for the future and allowed me to be almost an immediate success here on YouTube because I already have the gear. I already have the skills of talking to people. Like, I just had to shift and learn more video editing and, learn the framework of how YouTube works. SEO, analytics, all that stuff. Deeper dive into what makes content engaging. How can I share myself in a way that's enjoyable? How can I help people? How can I educate people through the content I create? So the website is a big leap that I'm proud of. Hitting YouTube Partner is something that I'm proud of. I mean, we are just being able to offer memberships and make an income that way is way harder than it was on Twitch, but it is so deserved at that point. You really have to work to get it, and being able to earn ad revenue from your videos, being able to, essentially get some support from your community via memberships, via super chats, whatever it may be, is really valuable. And that's also what keeps everything running, right? And that's where I get into the deeper concerns. But hitting YouTube Partner was a big deal. Starting up the merch store was like a point of pride, and there is a merch store update on the way, but it's like, if I'm always focused on editing clips and going live and being live and making sure I'm getting those entertaining moments captured, then it's like, it does become overwhelming in the sense that I don't have time to write music. I don't have time to write other stuff, do the merch store, all the secondary dreams that are kind of in the background, or even my biggest dreams, kind of fall on the back burner there. So I'm proud of a lot of things that have been accomplished. I'm insanely proud of the journey. Like, we went from like 1,000 subscribers when we hit partner here on the channel. And then I believe it was in December when the Sergeant Johnson video, the YouTube short, went nuts. And I gained just about 4,000 followers. Not solely from that video, but it kickstarted that video. A lot of other videos. Of course, my time streaming and creating videos on Marvel's Avengers led to the blow up with Suicide Squad, and how well some of those videos are doing, with thousands of views on some of those, and the YouTube shorts that exist from those. It's just snowballing even more. So I really think that the goal of 10,000 subscribers can happen this year. But I also do feel like I am beating a dead horse, would be the term here. In some ways, when I am live streaming, it does feel that way. I want live streams to be an event and a rarity, and not necessarily a daily expectation. It's easily the quickest way to connect with everybody. The YouTube community tab is something I also really enjoy. It's that community feed where it's kind of like Facebook or Twitter or whatever, where, the feed's there. I can do polls, I can post new videos, I can ask questions, I can, type out a review or a monologue or whatever it is that needs to be said to touch base with everybody, promote a video, promote a stream, whatever it may be. And I use that pretty religiously, and it's a great way to be able to communicate and plan stuff and ask questions and make sure that we're on the right track here. But I do think that takes up a lot of my time, where I could be doing other things if I wasn't constantly doing that. So let's get into what changes on the channel. And I think the biggest one is Thursday nights, because we talk a lot on Thursdays, right? Like, it's always the latest Marvel and DC news. Originally, the Thursday stream really started to become like a Marvel's Avengers event. And what I want to do with that, because I think, still play Marvel's Avengers every now and then, but I do think that we're at a point where that needs to pivot. When I'm playing Borderlands with the guys, with Sim and Cress, Simero and Cress, you can kind of see the light leaving my eyes. Like, I know you guys can tell when I'm like bored out of my mind and just trying to get through this. Like, it shows all the way through. And I don't like Borderlands. I want to figure out if there's a way that maybe we just finish that playthrough offline, or maybe, we record it or maybe just live stream it a little bit if we're getting close to the end, but really probably try to wrap that up, because it does take away what I enjoy about doing. And I think Thursdays started more as it's about comic books, right? And I think the perfect thing to pivot to would be to like play Marvel Ultimate Alliance on Thursdays, do like 1, 2, and then jump into like Ultimate Alliance 3. We never even finished it. Like, I could either make videos around it or live stream around that. But I really want to step away from live streaming is kind of the main point of all of this. But I think one day that will remain constant is Co-op Saturdays with Texas Wolverines. That's a mainstay. That, I think what we did with Gears of War, with Halo, playing through those whole series, and some of the clips that we've made on that, even some of the live streams and videos, are blowing up not just throughout the series, but also after the series was complete. Like, a lot of those clips are going and solidifying, that this is a channel for this, that, and the other, right? Like, and that you can always count on us to be playing something engaging and cooperative on Saturday nights. Like, it's such a regular mainstay, and I think I can hold that in place. That Saturday nights, 9 p.m. Central, we can always be continuing on that. And I know we're doing Ghost Recon Wildlands right now. We're going to pivot and do like RTS stuff. We have Age of Empires. There's a lot of other cooperative real-time strategy games. We talked about playing the Crackdown games. We're going to wrap up the Ghost Recon series by doing Wildlands and Breakpoint. And I think we've even talked about Splinter Cell. There's a whole lot of co-op games that we can do, that we can go back and forth between. So yeah, I really think, I do think I need to talk about Thursdays, and Thursdays need to change, and I almost want to look at the audience for that, because it really was built on, like, we're playing a comic book game tonight. So it could be Marvel's Avengers, it could be Ultimate Alliance, it could be a dozen of the Marvel and DC retro games that I have piled up behind the green screen, right? Like, I've been buying, just all these great games that I've wanted to play over time. Or, gradually ease into Marvel Ultimate Alliance and do a full playthrough of those games. So, Saturdays will be a mainstay as well, but I think I have to look at what is successful for the channel and what is good for my heart and soul. And I don't think Borderlands, I think I just have to know that that's not for me. It's something that I could finish offline because I kind of want to see how it ends, but it also, it pulls from my soul to play that game. Like, it hurts me in a very deep way to play Borderlands. It's so unfulfilling to me. There's not enough enemies for it to be challenging. With multiple players, there's not enough enemies, not enough challenge there. But also at the same time, it's like, for some missions we're overpowered. Sometimes it's more about someone's class on the team might be more powerful, or that their weapon might kill quicker than some weapon I have. It just becomes a thing about balance. And everybody knows I have a thing about one-shot builds. I don't like one-shot builds. I don't like ridiculous OP stuff. I like to just play the game in kind of a normalish way. All right, anyway, moving on from that. Co-op Saturdays are a mainstay, and this is another big topic when it comes to the games and the gear that I cover on the channel, and I do reviews, I play games, all that kind of stuff, right? All the content I create around tech and gaming. Some of that, thankfully, comes in through sponsorships, ads, opportunities, speaking with PR folks, and being given these opportunities to like, hey, you can review this, or we send a copy, for this game for you to review on the channel or create content around it, for coverage, that can entail a lot of different things depending on what either I can provide or what the PR team might be looking for. Maybe they're just looking for a video and a review, or maybe they want first impressions, or, maybe they kind of want you to just play it, and just show people inside and out what it's like so that they can make a decision for themselves. But when those opportunities are not there, buying the games, buying the gear to review stuff is a financial risk that does not always pay off, especially like I really shouldn't be buying stuff just to have stuff to cover and review, and I never really play anything that's outside of my genre or my wheelhouse. I'm not going broke purchasing anything for the channel here. Usually what I purchase is stuff that I either need for the channel or that I'm interested in, but it does get to a point where it can get very difficult, right? So I think more opportunities are on the way, but it is always in your toughest moments, maybe that slight valley where you're thinking about quitting and giving up, where it's like, well, actually you're about to go up to the peak. Like you quit right here, but like the gold is just 2 feet deeper than where you are, right? So that's just kind of an interesting thing that's relevant to the conversation. Now, what does this mean? Because I know instantly it's like, oh no, he's pivoting. Is he quitting YouTube? It sounds like a quitting YouTube video. It's already getting there. But what it actually means is that if I'm not live streaming all the time, I have more time to write out these episodes for the Shackcast. I have more time to book guests, and I'm really proud of some of the guests that we've had on the Shackcast. Like, we literally started, episode 1 was Auburn Abbey, and we were talking about COVID. Like, just as COVID was happening. Like, that was huge to be able to sit down with a nurse who was in the middle of it. Like, the entire just tornado of what that is, what it is for the healthcare industry, what it is for, just people's health in general, and the fears she had, right, of working around COVID patients. So, I mean, we got heavy right into that. We've had Andrew Alliance on the show for his expertise in tech and gaming and being an excellent host. We're back and forth all the time, co-hosting and being involved in each other's content. That is not something you'll see end. Caitlin Burt, actor Caitlin Burt, came on the Shackcast, and we got to talk about her passions, about her career. I'm really proud of that episode, and I think if I look at the analytics, it's still one of our best, because the chance to interview an actor, no matter where they are in their career, whether they're super famous or they're indie, whatever it may be, it was an incredible get to be able to speak with her, and I think we would love to do that again. Now, also proud to have Mikkel Casanova of Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Casanova Podcast, on the show. It was really inspiring to talk to another content creator as successful as he is, and to be able to be invited on his show as well, which I think we'll probably be seeing that out in the space at some point. But it was such an incredible experience and a really fulfilling and deep conversation that kind of reminded me that this is what gives me life, right? Like, being able to sit and talk with people like this and have these interviews and have these deep discussions, whether it's about gaming, life, it could be a million different things that we could discuss between all that. But I was really proud of that. And even the most recent Shackcast episode, we sat down with another Andrew, Acting Relic, and he was talking about his life in Japan. And that was like just a culture shock. It was insane to sit there and have a discussion about what it's like to really live in Japan, and ask questions and look at pictures of food over there and compare the exchange rates and the prices of stuff, and what's it like living there, and what's the cost of living, and all these various things. It got into some really interesting stuff beyond gaming. And it's like, in order to, get more guests on the show, which I know I got people, right? That there's people I can ask, It's, you're always thinking, oh, I got to be bigger before I can ask so-and-so and so-and-so. But there's so many people that I think are interesting and have compelling stories. And I want to share what they're up to and, essentially help promote them through my channel as well. But I want to meet and talk to interesting people. And so I find that is a natural skill that I really enjoy. I enjoy the journalism of it all. I enjoy the interview skills that it takes to sort of ask people the right questions, get them comfortable in the space, and then it becomes less of a questionnaire, back and forth. It starts to become more of a conversation where it's not like I'm an investigative reporter, asking sophisticated questions, trying to get the subject to crack or whatever. Like, it becomes more of like, hey, we're just friends sitting here and having a discussion, and we're all going to learn something from it, and we all benefit from it in some way. So more Shackcast episodes, more guests. I still want to do a lot of collaborations on the channel. As you know, me and Andrew Alliance, we love to play The Division. We love to play Destiny together. We love to have Helldivers with the guys, Avengers, Suicide Squad. We're just opening that up, so as soon as they, get those servers fixed where we're able to play that game without having lag issues or without people getting kicked out or whatever it may be, there's some games that we can open up, and so it doesn't necessarily mean that everything is changing permanently in that aspect, but I want to be able to create more evergreen content. And while people will go back to live streams and the popular game of the month, which I always feel like I'm covering, whether it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or Helldivers or Suicide Squad or whatever it may be, whatever the next game that's coming out that we're all going to hop to, and you're going to have the latest coverage on that. I want to make sure that I'm making stuff that is healthy for the channel as well as fulfilling for me, fulfilling for you. So beyond that, I will also be able to do more reviews and more gear reviews, because I'm pivoting the channel in a way that it's not just going to be about me streaming the next big game, whether you enjoy it or not, or if it falls into the niche, if it doesn't, if it's something new, all these various things in that aspect. It's going to be more that I'm already pretty brand friendly, but I can pivot the channel in a way where I become even more so, and I can receive those codes and make really short, poignant reviews where you can just, and I have my own way of going about it, because I don't want to do, 1 out of 5 stars or 1 to 10 review. I don't want to contribute to Metacritic, to Rotten Tomatoes, to all these, and everybody just taking their favorite game as a number and being able to aggregate those numbers and say, well, my game has a 456 score online, and your favorite game has a 272, so my game's better. I don't want to contribute to that. I want to talk about games in a substantive way, a qualitative way, rather than a quantitative way, okay? So I want my reviews to have meaning, and they're going to have heart in them. I think we've already seen that on the games I review on the channel, and when people come in live, which is usually when a lot of reviews even take place, is when people come in live and they're like, hey, what are your thoughts on this game? It just came out. I'm watching your gameplay. And I kind of ask questions, answer questions, and showcase gameplay and stuff like that, and it allows you to make up your own opinion. So regardless of what I say, you're allowed the final choice. You don't look at some arbitrary score and then realize like, oh yeah, I trust this guy 100%. He gave it a 10 out of 10. So yeah, I guess I'm just going to go buy it. Like, I don't want people to skip to the end, if that makes sense. I think there's value in the conversation and the bullet points in how we get from point A to point B in a review of something. And I don't think reviews should just be the way they are now. Things need to change. But I have other Shackcast episodes on that, so I won't rant further on that. But more reviews because I want the channel to be more the channel to more center around me than gaming. Now that sounds egotistical right out of the box, but I'm going to cut you off right there. Okay? Because the reason I say that is because I think I want the channel to be more of my personality, more of me sharing who I am, what I do, what I'm passionate about, and what I'm good at, what I'm skilled at. So music, photography, gaming, those are like the top 3 that I can think of. We've done photography editing streams. I'd love to do like travel vlogs when I'm out and about, showcasing my camera gear that I use, getting sponsorships through that. Same with the guitars. Like, I write music, I play music, but I don't have the opportunity to showcase it on here. And that's something I want to do. That's something I want to build on and work on, whether it's making guitar educational videos, showing people my collection, kind of a deep dive into my songwriting, sharing some of my originals on the platform, you know, heading up with an album release, going from there, you know, just to give a few ideas musically of things I would do in that sense. So yeah, more videos, less live streams. I want to dive into YouTube Shorts because that has been where the majority of the growth of the channel is. So I have a lot of creativity there where I want to dive into gaming's biggest topics and make videos and shorts around that. And to be able to do that on a daily basis, I can't be live for 3 to 6 hours a day. It needs to be like, oh, here's the headlines of the day. Let me sit down and make this like minute-long video and push it out there. So it's almost like you might see more of me in different ways. And hopefully all those ways will be exciting and pleasing. So yeah, more YouTube Shorts and TikToks, more videos, less live streams. I have so many more games that I want to play on the channel, and there's so many that I want to continue playing that it is overwhelming. And with the live stream approach to playing video games, it's very slow. Like, for example, let's take Spider-Man 2. It might take someone 20 to 40 hours on average to complete that game. As a live streamer, it could easily be double that. Because there's, you know, you can only play so many hours a day. There's, you know, interacting with the stream. There's only playing the game when you're live. You know, you kind of save things for that. And so there's just like a pile of retro games that I have behind me that I'm just saving for someday. I'm like, oh my God, I could do that on the channel. I could make a video about that. You know, I could do a full playthrough of this. And it's like the time does not exist to be able to do all these things. Even just keeping up with new releases like Final Fantasy VII, Suicide Squad, the amount of time it takes to play those, the amount of time it takes to create content and edit things, cut it into shorts, you know, whatever comes up around all that, right? There's not enough time in the world to do everything. So I think I have to analyze that in a different way. Like, if I want to play these games, I need to, rather than just simply showcase every good moment and every boring moment and every moment in between by, you know, making 3-hour, 6-hour, 8-hour long videos, whatever it is, right? Like, whatever the live streams, I've tried to make them short and concise and interesting and have a subject for each one of like, this is what we're tackling today. I think targeted videos are better because I could tell a story or just grab those epic moments that everybody's going to be like, this is what I watched the stream for. Like, this was the moment that I was like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. This is why I watch, right? So, less full-length playthroughs because the live streaming aspect of what I do, most of the time it's fun. It's not always fun. It's also not always profitable unless you are, unless there's either a brand deal attached to that or you have a lot of money coming in through memberships and donations and tips and viewers and, unless you're a viewer support channel, which I am very happy to receive that, but I also don't beg for it. And I don't believe that I should try to bank my entire living on, or even a portion of my living, on the luck-based statistic of relying on other people's income to support my income, if that makes sense. A lot of Twitch streamers have quit over the past several years because, hard times have hit us all, inflation's hit us all, and like people just can't keep subscribing and doing the $5 a month or whatever everyone's monthly fee is, right? So, that's not all. The live streams are not always profitable, whereas shorter form videos and creating more engaging content could potentially be more profitable. And I still think there will be things to offer for members, more exclusive stuff and more interesting stuff, more feedback, specific posts for them. That's stuff that I can work on when I'm not constantly live. That's the plague here, is being constantly live, always on. It doesn't leave much time for anything else. So yeah, I want to dive into more nostalgia from classic games. I want to make retro videos highlighting games. I have a massive games collection that I hardly really get to showcase or even talk about. I have nearly every console from when I was, a little kid to how old I am now. I've been lucky enough to purchase hardware as each generation came, and I grew up playing the Commodore 64, the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo, and then it just went on from there. And I purchased retro games over the years, and especially recently I've been just building up because I'm like, you know what? It would be so cool to make a pivot where even if I don't do full playthroughs, but like just highlight these games and go like, hey, remember when we played this? Or like, remember how great this game was? Like, what happened to games like this? Why don't we see games like this? Why don't we enjoy games like this, right? So I want to get into that. That's a goal. Photo editing streams and travel blogs with vlogs with respect to my career and hobby in photography. I've done scenic photography. I've done portraits. I've done wildlife. Scenic and wildlife is kind of my main passion when it comes to photography. But I mean, I've dabbled in a lot of fields. I've done product photography as well. I have done gear reviews. I would like to showcase even more of what it's like, going out on a shoot. And, we've done editing streams where we kind of just chill and look at the photos that I took. And, we make little edits, we crop stuff, whatever has to be done in that respect. I think those were really fun and successful and innovative. Let's see. I think with the music, I could make, videos of me playing music, sharing my musical skills and creations, whether it's songwriting, whether it's my original songs. I even have this idea of, like, going into my real book, which has all my jazz songs, right? And just learning a new jazz song every week. And maybe even that could be a video if it's something that's interesting. And if it's something I think I can do. I did this challenge like maybe a year ago. And it was like a personal thing. I didn't gloat about it on the channel or make videos. But I was like, I'm going to try to learn like a new jazz song every day. And that quickly became very untenable because some songs are really hard. Other songs are really easy. Some might be in a key that's friendly, others are not. Some might be really fast, some might be, really slow and easy to learn. And I think it's more tenable to try to really deep dive on one song and study it for a whole week and try to get to where, okay, that's how the melody goes. Okay, here's the chords, right? Okay, we get like a bass line, background recording of playing the chords and play the melody on top and then memorize it. Maybe write it out, play it in a different position if that seems better. If there's words, maybe even learn how to sing the song on top of that, and that allows me to build my repertoire of music. But if I'm always live and I'm always streaming and I'm always gaming, it doesn't leave time for me to be a photographer, to be a musician, all these various things. So throughout, the last several years of my life, I've been battling. I'm feeding one wolf and not the other. So for a while, I was a church musician. For a while, I was doing my blues and jazz gigs, playing gigs. Then, content creation, dove really deep into that. Did a little bit of both, but then gaming started to take over. And then this started growing, and I was like, I got to put all my time into this. But there was a while where I was doing portraits and weddings and quinceañeras and taking photos of all that. And, then eventually I got into wildlife even more and was traveling and going to the canyon and getting photos and stuff. But then even that kind of got eclipsed by what I do here with content creation. So I think that's why this reboot, this pivot of what I want to do with the YouTube channel is going to allow me to be more of myself and share more of that with everyone, instead of just kind of mindlessly sitting here and just staring at the screen, playing games. And maybe it's entertaining and sometimes it's not. And, not every moment of playing through an RPG or whatever can be like super engaging. But I always enjoy the streams and the conversations and, the moments that you can't plan for that happen. So yeah, I like that. I do feel like there's a big lack of time for me to focus on music because it does require a lot of time for me to practice and keep my guitars in tune and maintenance and the gear, and you're always purchasing new gear and maintaining your old gear and, just getting the right sound that you want to have for a certain song or a gig or whatever it may be. That can eat up a whole day very quickly. I talked about the website a little bit, but I do want to delve more into writing and more into journalism. So when I do offer the ability to do reviews for whatever it is, right? We've given examples on stuff I do reviews of, but I also have done written reviews on the website. I want to push that forward and continue doing more of that. But I did realize with the website that I can't cover all gaming news because I'm just one man, right? And I'm not at the point where I could hire some staff, and that's not even what I want. I don't want to become a gaming news conglomerate here. I like my individual approach, and I like that I am creating something where I am someone who can be trusted in the space. You know what you're getting. It's a logical review. No, as little bias as possible, but I mean, everyone's going to have bias. But I mean, as little nonsense, no hate reviews, no outrage, no weaponizing the community into liking or hating a game, just the facts. I tell you what I think. If it's not for me, I recommend it to people who I know will enjoy said product, video game. If it's something that is not of quality to anyone, I will be honest about that, but I can even see value in stuff that I don't enjoy or that's not made for me, and I can figure out, oh, you know who this would be great for? Yeah, exactly. So I would like to do more of that. I've also had a big focus on fitness and health on the channel, in and out, explaining that I'm working out, I'm trying to eat healthier. That's been a goal of maybe the past 2 years now, and I put on a lot of weight. I put on some muscle. This is the most I've ever weighed. I've always been super skinny, and so I want to continue down that path. But I think the more I stream and I'm always editing videos all day long and stuff, that it even eats up how much time I can spend doing that and eating healthy, the protein shakes, all that stuff. It's like a full-time job. I mean, maybe you only spend 30 minutes or an hour working out or whatever it is. And I like to do Monday through Friday and take the weekends off, give my body time to heal, the muscles time to recuperate so that I can avoid injury. And I was doing like full body workouts every day because I was like, all of my body is very skinny and all these muscles, really needed attention. And I don't want to be weird where I have a big upper body but then shrimpy little legs. So that's something I want to do. And so if there's a fitness journey to be shared there, I would like to document that as well, because I think for gamers, we need to be concerned about our health. We shouldn't be, drinking massively unhealthy energy drinks that lead to cancer. We should be watching what we eat. I don't really promote fast food. I drink a Dr. Pepper every now and then because it's a pleasure. But even for a while, there have been years where I just didn't drink soda because I was like, nah, this is bad for you. I'm just going to drink like water and, drinks that are healthy for me and avoid, smoking, drinking, hard drugs. But yeah, if there's a fitness and health journey to be shared, and there's something that can be learned from that, and that sort of contributes to the guitar playing, the photography, the video gaming, the healthy lifestyle. And of course, that leads to more sponsorships and brand deals, which allow me to keep doing what I'm doing, which is the big thing. I have to do more of that if this is to be sustainable. If not, I kind of have to just pack this all up and end it. As much as I enjoy what I do here, it's not feasible to continue in this way. So I do have to think about the money side. I know people get instantly upset. They're like, oh, you're all about the money. You're just doing this because you need some money. And it's like, I got to eat. Yeah, that's right. I mean, when I was playing guitar for the church, they said, oh, you're just doing this for the money. You're not doing this. And I'm like, dude, I'm a Catholic. I was raised in this church. What? Where are you getting this from? Like, it's a joy that I get to do this, but it's also a joy that I get to get paid for doing something that I love. And that's why I went to school, and that's why I developed the skills in order to play music and to be damn good at it, right? So, I mean, I've dealt with that all through my life. I don't think there's a job that I'll ever have where I'm not questioned as being money hungry or not in it for the passion, whatever it may be, right? So I know that's where it comes from, because there's a lot of soul streamers where they're like, I just do it for the love of the game. And I'm like, I love the game too, but I gotta eat. I gotta eat. I gotta put a roof over my head. There's certain things that I want to enjoy in my life. So I like to have books. I like to have guitars. I like to have video games. Everything costs money. So at the end of the day, I do have to think about what, where's the crossroads here of where does my passions and monetizing my passions connect. So also the Patreon and the memberships here on the channel, I'm going to sort of look into how I can better serve those, because there are a lot of benefits, but I will definitely do a deep dive into that. So if anyone has any questions or concerns regarding that, just let me know in the comments or in the live stream chat. One of the ideas that was suggested, and I think this is really cute, but if you become a member on YouTube or a patron on the Patreon, what I can do is you can share a photo of yourself, and I'll make a Lego minifigure of you, and I can make a video of it and send it to you, or I make a minifigure, and maybe it could be mailed to you, right? Because they have ways, like through Patreon, where it's like you anonymously, submit your address, and you can send out postcards and stuff to people. There's cute little ideas like that where you can sort of build a community or do something interesting in that respect, right? That's just an idea. Updating the merch store is another big thing. Like I said, I have a lot of ideas for that, to expand more of the merch into, being about me, but also being about gaming and fitness and pop culture as a whole, without using, copywritten imagery and stuff like that. That gives me more time to dive into, making that another form of income, and for you, making it something that you would actually want to purchase, right? Let's see. So yeah, the channel is shifting. It's going to be more about me without sounding super egotistical here, but not just about what I like or just one game that I'm playing through for the next month or 3. I just can't be available all the time. I can't always be live all the time. It's untenable. It's unfeasible. It doesn't generate enough of an income to continue in that respect. It's not feasible. But now getting towards the end of everything I want to say, and then I'll open up for like a Q&A real quick, and then we'll wrap up. One of the things that my dad used to do was he used to support my dreams. Both my dad and his brother, my Uncle Lance, and it's crazy, they were both so supportive of me being a musician. My uncle taught me a lot about guitar, how to play guitar. I went to, after that, I guess it was maybe, after I left, I was going to DeVry for game design, and once I figured out that school was a fraud, and they started getting sued for not actually teaching, and those jobs not the degrees not actually leading to real jobs. I had been going out to his farm, and we'd play guitar on the weekends, and I'd do my laundry, and then I'd drive back into Dallas. And he just really supported my passion for that. And, we talked guitars. I remember he came to town once, and he bought a guitar like mine, the ES335 in cherry red with the black pick guard, which, when he passed away, and it broke my heart, he left that to one of his sons. And that was the coolest, because he has 2 sons that I believe play guitar. And so he left his guitars to them, and that was so cool. But he was such a role model to me, and my dad is the same way. He always supported my goals and my passions. He said, someday I want to see you on TV. He would say, even with video gaming, he would brag about how good I was at a game, or he watched me beat the last boss in a video game or something like that, or we'd talk about stuff, and I didn't realize for a long time that he was actually a gamer too, and so I guess it's genetic in some ways. But when they bought the Nintendo Entertainment System, it was my dad and mom playing Mario Brothers before I was even born. And then Dad had the Game Boy, the original Game Boy, and he'd sit there racking up scores on Tetris and various other games, but Tetris was a key one. He really loved Tetris. And that was a game he played for a long time. So he's always supported me in everything I did. And I remember I even bought my first Canon DSLR, the Canon Rebel T5. I started taking photos of my guitars and started thinking about how I want to do wildlife photography and all that stuff. And I had just gotten my golden Stratocaster, and I showed him my new guitar, and that was literally when my dad was getting onto his deathbed. So his dreams, his aspirations for me, and what I think I'm capable of and what I want to do with my life was something that he always supported, even when no one else did. So I think that's an important thing to just sort of mention here as to why I think it's important I make this pivot, because I can do everything now. And the channel can be a hub for everything I love, every passion that I have, and everything that I enjoy about what I do and live my life. So I can share all that with you. But I can't do it if I'm always perpetually live. So that is what I came here to say. If you have any questions in the chat, let me know. If not, we will proceed to wrap up episode 47. But this is a monumental one. I was thinking heavily on this, and we had a conversations, around it, of how things can go and what we can do in that respect. So let me see what we've got here. Yeah, Evil Eyes has a good point here. My usual thing here, which allows me to pull the comments up on screen, is not working tonight. He says, I respect your decision, Aaron. I'm just glad we got to talk comics and whatnot on Thursdays and so on. Your works does not go unnoticed. So many great memories on Avengers and conversations. Yeah, and I don't think that's going anywhere, respectively. But I do think I want to change what we do on Thursdays, because the Borderlands stuff, drains my soul. And Avengers is, last week we were playing, and the mission you need to complete for the event is like not in the game anymore. So that's difficult. It's like the game is starting to reach such a broken state that it might not always be tenable to return to, but I think I will, and I think we will occasionally. But, and Suicide Squad's in a little bit of a state right now, but I still want to keep Thursdays open as a day where videos might be made or live streams might happen. And like I said, I kind of want to do Ultimate Alliance. I want to do Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I have a bunch of retro Marvel games that we can geek out about. But like I do want to get away from like long-term live streaming and long-form playthroughs. It's there's just not enough time in the world to get that stuff done. So Thursdays aren't going anywhere, and I think our co-op Saturdays aren't going anywhere. But I do think some of the blueprint of how Thursday goes will have to change a little bit. Because I do think I want to keep it comic associated. And so maybe I'll even weave in stuff like, oh, hey, this is my haul from the comic book store. Maybe I go on Thursdays or sometime during the week and pick up my haul and share what I'm reading. Or, we talk about the latest movie. Maybe we turn it into something, Yeah, and playing other Marvel and DC titles. It was really fun loading up Arkham Knight. Over the last couple of weeks, we've done a couple streams of just doing challenge maps on Arkham Knight, and I honestly enjoyed that, because I wasn't bound to doing a full storyline playthrough of the game again. It was more like, let's just jump in the game and have some fun, beat up some guys, do some stealth missions. It was very pick up and play, and like anyone could jump in and be caught up on what's happening, and it doesn't spoil anything, and it's like endlessly entertaining, right? Like there's always a moment of action or suspense or something exciting happening in that respect. So yeah, I think you're right on that. A shakeup would be good. Playing other Marvel or DC titles would be exciting to watch. Yeah, I want to thank everyone for coming by. Thank you for all your comments, questions, concerns. So yeah, it's not really the end. I know it sounds like, I'm gonna skip this ad. It sounds like an I'm quitting video, but it's not. It's really more of a shift in priorities and trying to take the channel in a way where I think it could be more profitable, because I don't want to rely just on memberships or on the kindness of people or on ad revenue, because even though I've had some successful videos that have gotten millions of views or hundreds of thousands of views, if you look at the money, it's like maybe enough for the week, but it, you got to really be getting millions upon millions on a regular basis for ad revenue is usually not anything any creator, I mean, maybe just Mr. Beast, but I mean, you got to really be on the top end for ad revenue to be your greatest form of compensation to continue doing what you're doing. So yeah, I think a shift to where I can do more sponsored and brand deals, and also being able to share more of my passions, so that if this doesn't work out, then, at least I can just kind of share some cool things every now and then and go from there. But I think it'll be more of a personality. Yeah, I still have the Discord, and I'll keep that open. Yeah, I think you're already in, but I'll get the command just in case anyone's interested. But yeah, nothing. I have all the links in the description to all the places you can find me. Yeah, I don't think I have a hotkey right there for it. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, there it is. It might work. There we go. Yeah, it did work. All right. Yeah, so I mean, nothing really changes about the links in the description down below. I still think the YouTube community feed is the best way to communicate with everyone, but also a lot of things that go there go to the Discord. Twitter is also one of the big places to catch me. My impressions on stuff, pulling the quick gaming news of the day, having discussions, on there. I'm trying to be more active on there, and it's really been good. I think I've probably done that for maybe the last six to 8 months, where I literally got monetized on Twitter, and but I think they're like reviewing it or something. So I mean, I'm not like actually monetized yet, so I wouldn't bet all my horses on the Twitter thing. But I still love being there, and I still love that is kind of a hub for gaming news and conversations and stuff like that. But I just want to utilize the channel in a different way that I think will be better for me and for everyone. So there will still be live streams. I'll still do some episodes of the Shackcast will be live. Some will be better served as a recording. There might be times where I'm out and doing something, and it just needs to be a recording to just get those thoughts in and out. And other times it's like, it's great to have the live stream, because then you can sort of dive in and answer questions and get feedback and stuff like that as the episode's going, or if we have a guest that's like really engaging and wants to take feedback as well, and answer questions from people that might enjoy their work or be curious about what they do or why they do it. We can get into that. So I think we'll wrap it up right here. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you for all the continued support. Thank you for listening. We're live on YouTube. We have a video on YouTube, and then we also push out audio recordings of the podcast to all podcast outlets, but specifically Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever podcasts are found, you can usually find the Shackcast. So this has been episode 47, and I'm actually going to be putting out episodes more often. So I'm already lining up interviews for 48 and beyond. So I think I'll either be doing episodes weekly, or I might be able to do more than one, just depending. But I have more news topics that I want to get into, gaming related, that I didn't think would be good to fit into this. This is obviously a very big one topic thing. So thank you for listening. Let me know if you have any questions, concerns. Just leave them in the comments if you missed the stream or are listening to this, hit the YouTube comments, and I'm happy to respond there. So thank you for watching. Take care. Be safe. Have a good one. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.